It is so fantastic to see you today. I'm so excited to have this conversation. We've been trying to have this conversation for a while, and I'm glad I am finally getting to press the record button so that everyone else can come and join us on our journey today. So welcome to the Venture Forward podcast.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm really excited to talk to you, as you are one of my most exciting mentors in business. I've really enjoyed working with you over these few years, and I'm excited to tell you something about my story when it comes to business.
I'm excited for you to share your story because you've got quite an amazing story. So maybe as we intro you to everyone who doesn't know you quite as well as I do, maybe tell us a little bit about the business that you've got right now, and then we'll delve into how we got here.
Yes. So right now, I would have always called myself a beauty entrepreneur, and that's gone through various phases. And my current phase is cosmetics, it's makeup, and it's very important makeup, I would say, because some of us don't like wearing makeup, but sometimes we need it as a confidence boost, especially if we've got various skin conditions. And so I am very, very passionate about this brand, The Good Mineral and Miss London Cosmetics, that are pure mineral makeup brands. And not just that, they're not just about being clean, they're about being skin friendly, skin loving to the most sensitive or acne prone skin, which is often overlooked by a lot of cosmetics brands. They make makeup that is clean, but clean doesn't necessarily mean okay for sensitive skin. So we've created this amazing brand, and this is where my business journey is at the moment, with these two amazing clean makeup brands.
So you created a cosmetic company because you were trying to solve your own problem,
Yes.
You saw an opportunity in the market that no one else was creating clean makeup that was good for sensitive skin?
Well, it actually started many years ago with my sister, who is a scientist and inventor. She was looking for light makeup for her own skin, and we both got the same skin tones. Women of color. Back in 2005, we only had two options for us in terms of foundation, and they were thick and they were heavy, and a lot of them were not the right shade. So my sister Natasha was looking at the time for makeup for her wedding, and so she tried to create something light by going to various manufacturers who told her that Black women don't like wearing Black women only like heavy coverage makeup. And at that point, Natasha being Natasha, she said, all right, fine, that's it, I'm going to make it myself. And so she started mixing and formulating this makeup that I'm talking about today back in 2005. And she did it by literally stopping women on the street, and she would mix and color and get their shade match going. And it took many, many years, and it went on for a long time. In the meantime, I was a salon entrepreneur at the time. I owned quite a few salons. But what was also amazing about what was happening then was that I had severe acne. My face was completely covered in acne. And I remember it was always such a battle to get the coverage for the confidence that I needed to face my day. Because the thing about acne is that you literally wake up every morning and you check your face to see what's new, because these cysts would appear all over, and it was very, very sore, and it was very, very debilitating, and sometimes it was really upsetting. So I had this acne, and Natasha would say, Ego, come and try this makeup. And I'd be like, don't touch my face, because the thing about acne is that you become very, very sensitive to anything. No one can sell you anything for your face, literally, because it's so painful. So it went on for years like that. And then Natasha finally convinced me to try the makeup. Of course, I put it on, and of course, I was like, wow, what is this? Wow. You got the coverage, you didn't get the itchiness, you got this glowing finish. It was just fantastic. And I thought, this is amazing. And that was it. And then it was just between us. Between us and our friends, we were using this makeup that Natasha had made. And then I moved to South Africa from the UK. I opened up these amazing salons. And one day my mom walked into one of the salons and she said, oh my God, Ego, your salons are so busy. Why don't you go and get that makeup from your sister and see if you can sell it here? And I'll tell you what was my motivator at that point, because I already had these salons and they were great. And it was my kind of business. I like that face-to-face, woman-to-woman. You know what, I know that teacher is really annoying, or where are you going on holiday this year? Or what did your husband say? Oh my God, have a vodka, you know, that kind of thing. So the salons were great for me. But what I did notice was that a lot of women came in without makeup on. A lot of women had no makeup on. And when you looked on social media, it was packed with these videos of people doing really complicated things to their face. So they're putting on layers and layers of stuff, the cheeks under the eyes, and they're back tapping and dabbing and stuff. And when you, and I thought to myself, I don't wear makeup like that. And I was wearing, you know, my sister's makeup. I don't wear makeup like, in fact, the 14,000 women that we serviced a year in our salons, none of them wore makeup like that. I remember once being on a tube in London, more recent years, and I remember I saw these girls with a load of this makeup on, and I thought, oh my God, there they are in real life, these women that are on social media putting a million things. And then it turned out that they were MAC cosmetics counter girls and they were going to work. But so the short of the story is, Sarah, that I realized that makeup, that complicated makeup stuff that's on social media is not what happens in real life. That most of us, A, don't have the time, B, don't have the skill or the desire to become artists, you know, of our face, and C, don't want to look unnatural because there's something about it. You know, you go out and you think, is everybody looking at me because I've got my contour on wrong, you know, or have I put my wing liner on wrong? Or, you know, so I thought women don't need it. However, don't want it. However, I can see that a lot of them could use a little bit of makeup, just a little bit, just to take off the edge of the raw, natural skin look, right? So it's great and everything, but you're going out to dinner now, or you've got a nice brunch date, or you're going to a job interview, you know, you can do something with your face. So we flew to the States. I got Natasha to make the first batch of makeup. I brought it into the salon. And because we'd built so much trust with our amazing salon customers, I could go up to a lady and say, hey, I've just brought this new makeup in. I want to try it. I'm putting it on your face. And she'll say, oh, all right, Ego. And that's how it happened. So we literally started to put the makeup on our salon customers who were sitting there getting their nails done, stuck in the chair, hands were busy, and I just start putting it on their face. And Sarah, I want to tell you, I mean, our stats now are 7.5 out of 10, but it was 9 out of 10 women that would look at their face afterwards and go, oh my God, what did you just do? What is that stuff? Wow. And even the diehards that would be like, oh no, I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying anything. They'd leave the shop. They would go home and somebody would see them, or they would look at themselves in their usual mirror under usual lighting and think, what's that? And they would literally come running back to the shop to get it. So that's how it started. So Natasha's formulations were magical, and the product is really quite special. And because of that fact, I will work tirelessly to get it onto more women's faces. That's the goal.
I love that. I mean, I love that. You're solving solving your problems, solving so many women's problems who just do not have time and capacity to like make themselves up to the hilt and just need stuff that's natural, not going to aggravate skin. I mean, it's extraordinary.
Right.
How much do you think perseverance is a factor in successful entrepreneurship? And I ask you that question because I know you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. The Good Mineral is relatively new, but your entrepreneurial journey is not. And you know how hard it is to grow and scale a business, but how much do you think success depends on perseverance?
I think the success as an entrepreneur depends literally entirely on perseverance. I think that it is one of the hardest paths to travel. I have got business partners, but I want to tell you that I am a born entrepreneur. It's my choice. I come from an academic family. I did an exceptionally great degree from a great university. I graduated well. I could have been in private equity. I could have been a banker. I could have done anything. But I thought, oh no, I'm going to open nail bars across London. So what I'm trying to say is that I chose a difficult path. I chose the path of entrepreneurship and be under no impression that it is some kind of a luxury, lush path. It is like a nightmare. It's like that video of that guy on the train who the train keeps moving, but there's, stuff in the way, and he's got to literally come out of the moving train and try to not die and be killed by the train while he clears the path so that he can keep going till the next day. One of the things that you said, Sarah, and I quote Muchu, is quoting you, is, make sure you stay in the ring. Do not get knocked out of the ring. And so that's what you spend your whole time doing. You're literally battling to stay.
We have to sing that Bee Gees song, don't we? Like, staying alive. So, I mean, and that's the craziness of it, isn't it? It's like, what is it going to take to stay alive? And that's obviously why so many businesses fail, is not that they've got a bad product, or not that the climate is not right, or, circumstances were not perfect. It's just didn't have the capacity to figure out how to stay in the game.
And to keep going, because at some point you can just say, oh, you know what is this? I don't need this. I'm just going to go and get a job. Yeah. But you see, I would rather slash my wrists than go and get a job. You see, so
that might be your new quote. I would rather slash my wrists than go and get a job.
Go and get a job. So I realized that I don't know whether that's something special to me, but I realized that that being an entrepreneur is not an option for me. It is what I am, and it is what I do. And even when I have moments when I think to myself, oh my God, you are a rubbish entrepreneur, Ego. You are so rubbish, because how is it that you haven't managed to do this? Look at this person who's done this, that, and the other at the age of 35. Look at this one who did this, that, and the other at the age of 37. And you're, older, and you've been in business for so long and you haven't done it. And I can talk to myself like that and really feel like there's absolutely no point doing this. And yet tomorrow I will wake up with a whole new plan as to how I'm going to make it work.
But you touched on there something really that is true for a lot of women, I think, which is that little voice in our heads that perpetually likes to tell us we're not good enough. And that's imposter syndrome. That's, we can call that whatever we want. But at the heart of it, it's a little lie, right, that likes to whisper in our ears morning, noon, and night, especially when things aren't going to plan, and most of the time things are not going to plan. So it's a lot of the time we're hearing that voice, right, and having to navigate it. What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who are listening to this and thinking, how does she find the grit to get up in the morning and make another plan. How do we overcome those voices? What do we do with that when that is what we're hearing morning, noon, and night?
Yeah. So, I don't want to sound like only fools and horses. I don't want to sound like, you keep on doing something that's not working and you keep pushing and not, I have to say I have been very successful in majority of my businesses. And what is success? To me, success is being able to pay the bills. So you make enough money, the business can grow, has got enough money to grow in the next year, and you've been paid enough to live well. I want to say that I live very well. It's not that I don't live well. I live well, and I have lived well for many, many years, right? So it's not that I'm bashing down a brick wall that's not coming down. The fact is that if the business that you've started, is not working and you have done everything and you have sought out all the advice, then maybe it is the wrong business. So
you have to pivot and you have to change your game, play a different game. Yeah,
exactly. However, outside of those thoughts, and I have to say that I don't think I've ever run a business that didn't have the potential to be really successful. I've never sort of pushed a product that was rubbish, or I've never created a salon or opened one in the wrong place and it was never going to work. No, they've always been good. I think what I believe is that when I'm having a really down moment, I think to myself, is it hormonal? Is it that time of the month? Because sometimes that can cloud your judgment, number one. Are you tired? Do you need to drink some water?
Yes.
So I just check my body, and I check that it's not just a moment that I'm having. Because ultimately, Sarah, my true belief is that there is a solution. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah,
that's how I keep going. So when you ask me, how do you keep going? If the advice is to other entrepreneurs, how do you keep going? I want to say that the way that I do it is that I honestly, in my heart of hearts, believe that I just haven't seen something. And that if I clear my mind, get some sleep and drink some water,
life will be better tomorrow.
And that I will see it, that I will have the vision. I will have the vision. The idea will come to me, the clarity will come to me, and the magic will happen.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And you and I have often chatted in the past about how wrangling our emotions is often one of our biggest challenges. And you challenged me a few months ago with just, I have to get it out. And I think you are someone who's very good at not sitting in and stewing in your own feelings, and actually expressing them, talking them out, saying them out, getting them outside of you and outside of your head, I think is, is super important. And as you said, then the second thing, getting enough rest. Sometimes we've pushed ourselves so hard, we just need to get some perspective, and you can only get some perspective after you've had a break and stepped away from it and given yourself, put yourself in timeout for a short time.
That's it.
I love putting myself in timeout.
just go to bed. Yeah.
My kids often say that to me, Mum, do you need to go in timeout? I was like, yes, I just really do.
I like that. I like timeout. Yeah, and I don't feel guilty about it anymore. And I also have realized that the to-do list never ends, right? It never ends. The amount of work that I was doing 20 years ago is exactly the same amount of work that I'm doing today. And so then I remember thinking, well, if I just finish this, and then if I just finish this, and then if I just finish this, then I'll be, but no, there's no just finish anything. It will always be there. So if you're having a moment of mega self-doubt, or you're having a meltdown, or whatever it is, go and melt down and come back tomorrow. However, there are times when the deadlines are so tight. So sometimes what I tell myself is I will schedule a meltdown next week, Friday. You might be tired now and having a meltdown, but don't worry. Next week, Friday, you can break down all you want.
You can have the whole day to have a meltdown. Oh, that's good. But what that says is actually structuring in space, like actually planning for, I'm going to need some time out. I'm going to need to go to the nail salon and get my nails done or get my hairs done. I'm going to need to go to the spa. I'm going to need to go on a long walk. I'm going to need to go be in silence for an afternoon. And thinking about what are the things that help me thrive and help me find some energy and help me keep going, because this, as we often say, is a marathon. It is not a sprint. In fact, it's the marathon of all marathons. It's not just one marathon. It's like marathon after marathon after marathon. And how do you keep finding your strength and keep finding your energy to pick yourself up and keep going, because it's hard.
So I wanted to just say that one of the other conundrums that I have in my business career is that I've got businesses that are at different stages. So I've got my salon businesses that are very established and I really don't need to be there at all. And it's just, they're kind of just plodding along. And the excitement for me as an entrepreneur has totally dwindled in that area. And so I just let them be and they're there. I was lucky enough to actually manage to sell one and, and convert that into cash, I guess, and also just know that it grows on or the brand lives on through somebody else. So that's one scenario. Then I've got Miss London Cosmetics, which is about 7 years old and in a very interesting stage of its growth. So it's profitable, it's growing. We've got real infrastructure in the business. We've got a minimum expected turnover. So, not only are we making the money, but we're making more money than we're spending. So I'm at a stage.
Always nice. Making more money than you spend.
Exactly. And so I'm at a stage in that company where I think to myself, right, the new year is coming. That means that this year we have got to take those profits and convert them into mega growth. Where are we going to put that money? Where are we going to put that money? Where am I going to spend that, those resources? Who am I going to hire to increase our turnover by so many million rand, right? So so I've got that business. And then I've got the Good Mineral, which is technically 18 months old. And it's D2C, it's online only. I don't get to meet the customer. So it's a very different type of business model. And I'm learning so much about it and trying to get to a point where we are able to make money and seriously grow digitally. And so
it's really hard to build a brand. I mean, what you're saying there is, we're at the beginning of a journey of building a recognizable brand. And that takes time and energy and money and momentum to really become established in the market. And for the Good Mineral, you're trying to break into the US market, which is one of the biggest cosmetic markets in the world. And so that's a hard nut to crack, to really break through in a busy, crowded space. But maybe let me draw our audience's attention to for a moment. Let's talk about Oprah for a moment, because very, very early in your launch, the Good Mineral won some acclaim from Oprah, which doesn't happen every day.
No, it doesn't. And it was amazing. We got an Oprah award, beauty award, for our lucent finishing powder as being the best blendable powder that they've ever used. And I was it was one of the most amazing things. Of course, I live off of that accolade all the time. We are an award-winning brand. We're an award-winning brand. But not only Oprah, we also had the Healthy Beauty Awards. And that went through a very vigorous process of being checked from a clean and health perspective. And we won best foundation powder from them as well. And that all happened in April, May, something like June, July last year. So it was like really just as we'd launched, won these awards. It was amazing. We've of course pitched now to Allure. So let's see if we can win an Allure Beauty Award. But Back to Natasha and her original formulations, they are really quite magical. She mixed them up in her kitchen using the method of elimination diet. You know, what do I really need in order to get the coverage? And so because of that method, and because she didn't use a standardized cosmetics formulation method, our powders are very different from any other powders that are out there, any other mineral powders. And that's what we try to get across digitally to our customers and try to build trust through some of the most amazing customer reviews ever. Because when people try it and they get it, they go, oh my God, what is this stuff? How does it work so well? I remember
I always think it's amazing when entrepreneurs take something that they dreamed up in their kitchen or in their garage, and bingo, it becomes, you know, household name. You know, I mean, it's an incredible sort of story, isn't it? When you just think sort of an individual can go from making something up at home and solving their own problem to really putting something on the shelves that everyone in America may know. I mean, that's an amazing journey, and an amazing marathon to go on all at the same time. But
So,
you are in the middle of an amazingly wild ride. I am delighted to be on that wild ride with you. And maybe as we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or final tips for any other entrepreneurs listening?
Thank you for saying that you are on this ride with me.
I am on this ride with you.
That is the tip I want to say. I want to say that meeting and connecting closely with fellow entrepreneurs in the last 3 years of my whole journey has changed a lot of things for me. Having you, having the Enigma investees to be able to call and talk to, joining the EY Winning Women program, and having other entrepreneurs in my network has literally changed the way that I feel about my business. The fact that I speak freely about how I feel about it being really difficult and stuff also comes from the fact that you know that you're not the only one. You're just not the only one going through it. And so I would strongly recommend to any other entrepreneurs, find a mentor that's done what you're trying to do. Find other people to network with that are doing what you're trying to do, because that support system will just keep you going as well in your darkest hours.
We need our tribe. We need a tribe to go on this journey, because it's hard and isolating. But if you've got people around you who are on it with you, that's half the battle, I think. I think you're 100% right.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, Ego, how can people, if they want to be in touch with you or they want to find out more about the Good Mineral, where can they find you?
So the best place to find me is on Instagram, Ego Iwegbu so it's at Ego Iwegbu on Instagram. You can DM me if you have any questions, you want to know anything, and I'm there, always responding. The Good Mineral is thegoodmineral.com. Check it out. We spent a fortune building that website and taking all of you just go onto the website just to have a look at those pictures, because we worked our butts off to get.
And if someone wants to get their foundation shade matched, you can match them, right?
100%. We can match anybody just through selfies. We have literally put this makeup on over 70,000 faces. So trust me, when you send in your picture, we know what shade you are. And hundreds, in fact, I would say probably about 2,000 or 3,000 women have sent in their makeup-free, filter-free selfies to us on Instagram or through the Good Mineral chat, the chat on our website. You can just go and you can send it to us through that, or through our email address at care@thegoodmineral.com, and we will color match you. So don't feel shy about it. We've seen everybody's faces. We love you all. And the more difficult your skin is, the more lovable you are. We love that because we're going to help. Amazing.
So at The Good Mineral on Instagram, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
All right, Ego, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Thank you for your grit. Thank you for inspiring us and encouraging us to have a new face. I love that.